You know that story we're all told about what it means to be a grown-up? The fancy cocktails, the big house, the amazing vacations? These are all supposed to be the signs that we finally made it. But what if they're not really signs of maturity at all? What if they're just clever ways we get tricked into wasting our money? Well, today, we're going to break down 7 so-called grown-up habits that are probably costing you a fortune.
So, let's ask the question, what does being a grown-up actually look like? I mean, for a lot of us, the picture that pops into our heads is straight out of a TV show, right? Characters living in these impossibly perfect, massive homes. These fantasies from pop culture, mixed with some pretty outdated ideas from our parents' generation, they create this really powerful and really expensive picture of what adulthood is supposed to be. And those images, they really stick with us.
Now, the folks over at The Financial Diet, where a lot of this research comes from, they have a pretty blunt take on all this. They say that the whole idea that spending more money makes you more mature is, well, bullshit. Real adulthood has absolutely nothing to do with the price tags on your stuff. It's time we start calling these expensive habits exactly what they are.
And this right here, this is what we can call the adulting trap. It's this belief that's aggressively marketed to us, by the way, that you prove you're a grown-up by spending more, that a bigger price tag somehow equals more maturity. Today, we're going to completely deconstruct that idea, one myth at a time.
All right, so first up, let's get into the myths of social performance. These are all the ways we spend money just to look like a proper adult to everybody else. Okay, first on the list, fancy booze. We've all seen it in the movies, right? The successful woman sipping a perfect martini, the powerful man with a glass of expensive scotch. The media has drilled this image into our heads for decades, that expensive alcohol supposedly makes you more mature, more empowered, or more sophisticated. It's become this universal symbol for success. And this idea? It has a very real-world cost. Just look at this. 42% of millennials go out for drinks every single week. That's nearly double the rate of Gen X and Boomers. We're spending so much more in bars and restaurants, which is exactly where the markups are the highest. And you can bet the industry has noticed because prices have climbed right up to meet that demand.
Next up, the myth of the massive wardrobe. You know the deal. We're sold this idea that as adults, we need totally separate outfits for the office, for date nights, for brunch, day looks, night looks. It's all just really clever marketing to get us to buy more clothes. The reality? A truly confident person often has a signature look. That's the real power move, and honestly, it requires way less stuff and zero stress.
And this pressure can get completely out of control. In big professional hubs, the need to look the part is just intense. The average resident of Washington, D.C., for example, spends a whopping $263 a month on clothes. A month? That is just insane, and it shows you how powerful this myth of the adult wardrobe has really become.
Okay, moving on. Let's talk about the myths surrounding our homes and our lifestyles. This is all about the expensive assumptions we make about where and how we're supposed to be living our lives.
Picture a typical new American home. What do you see? I'm guessing it's something huge, right? Well, the data backs you up. The average newly built home in America today is over 2,600 square feet. That is a massive amount of space.
And it gets even crazier when you break it down. With family sizes getting smaller, that works out to about 1,000 square feet per person. Think about that for a second. We're building homes with entire rooms that are basically off limits, that no one is even allowed to sit in, just for the sake of appearances.
And here's the bottom line. All that extra unused space comes at a huge cost. When you adjust for inflation, the average new home costs more than twice what it did 50 years ago. And why? Mostly because we're demanding so much more space. A big home doesn't make you a grown-up. A home that actually works for your life does.
This slide, man, it captures another lifestyle myth perfectly. It's that whole cycle, right? The sad work week slog followed by the YOLO weekend. We grind through the week feeling miserable, so we try to cram all our fun and all our spending into just 2 days. The numbers don't lie. Americans spend almost twice as much on a Saturday as they do on a Tuesday. We tell ourselves we deserve it, and our wallets end up paying the price.
All right, section 3. Let's dive into major milestone myths. This is where the pressure to spend goes to a whole other level, especially for things like weddings and travel.
Let's talk weddings for a second. The modern wedding party, you know, with the destination bachelorette trips, the matching dresses, the engagement showers, all of that is a pretty new phenomenon. Seriously, these things barely existed 30 years ago. But now, they've driven the average wedding cost up to around $40,000. And it's not just the couple. Just being in a wedding can easily cost you between $1,000 and $2,000.
And what about that idea that a real vacation means you don't have to worry about what you spend? Well, this slide shows the harsh reality. A staggering 74% of Americans have gone into debt for a vacation. The average debt, over $1,100 per trip. An adult trip isn't one where you spend freely. It's one you can actually afford.
And that brings us to our final section, and it's a big one, the myth of paying sticker price. This is all about fighting back against the idea that it's somehow rude or unchic to ask for a better deal.
I absolutely love this quote from the source material's mother. Only a fool pays retail. So many of us were raised with this weird taboo around negotiating, as if it's somehow poor behavior. But that mentality is costing us a ton of money. There is nothing unadult about negotiating. In fact, there's everything unadult about paying too much when you don't have to.
So how do you actually do it? It's actually pretty simple. First off, just question the price. You'd be surprised how often customer service reps are allowed to give you a better deal if you just ask. Second, use leverage. Do your homework. Go in with facts about what competitors are charging. And third, and this is crucial, be prepared to walk away. Your willingness to leave is your greatest power in any negotiation.
So, okay, after tearing down all of these myths, it's time to kind of rebuild, right? It's time to redefine what adulthood actually means for our money.
Let's just lay out the new rules. Adulthood is having a home that actually works for your life, not one designed to impress the neighbors. It's about finding ways to travel and have new experiences without racking up a mountain of credit card debt. It's choosing the confidence of a signature look over a closet that's bursting with clothes you barely even wear. And ultimately, true financial maturity is just this, doing what you can actually afford.
So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Looking at all these myths, the fancy drinks, the giant houses, the picture-perfect weddings, that fear of negotiating, which one are you ready to leave behind?